Good morning. It is Saturday. What day is today? June 29th. Saturday, June 29th. I just woke up. I'm like a hot mess this morning. I don't even know. It's 8:40. It's 8:40 a.m. I have Winston here at my feet, and I just wanted to give you guys an update why I didn't upload last week and just how I'm doing. So I did want to start off by saying I just weighed myself and I just hit a major milestone. So when I started this whole thing back in Thanksgiving of last year, I weighed like 170, 169, 170. And I just woke up and I hit 140 pounds. I have lost 30 pounds so far. Like, obviously I know where because I can see a difference, but what? Like, this is just absolutely insane. I thought, I had like a little bit extra weight on me before, but like now that like I see myself and my muscle coming out, I'm just like, holy cow, like this is insane. I'm just so proud and so happy. So that was really, really cool. However, I need to stop focusing so much about the weight. And I need to start focusing on how I'm feeling, how my body is, things like that. They don't weigh you before stage, so you don't have to be a certain weight. You just have to look a certain way. And because I'm 5'8", I'm pretty tall, and I do have, muscle and stuff, the weight will always change. If I didn't poop the day before, if I drank too much water, if I didn't drink enough water, if I ate, past 6 p.m., if I ate, everything in the morning, weight fluctuates every day from stress. But for right now, I am just so freaking happy that I was 140, and that was like my last goal that I set for myself, and I want to try to get away from the weight goals now, and I want to try to start, these have always been my goals, but like having like hitting my macros all like 0, or doing another heavy squat or deadlift or whatever. So hi Winston. Oh, I know. I stopped petting him. So yeah, so I'm very, very, very excited about that. That was a huge thing for me that I did. Now I want to get into something that for lack of a better term, scared the living shit out of me. A lot of my family members and stuff know, not all of my friends know, but I've been having a really, really hard time these past 2 months. A lot has been going on behind the scenes, and I've just been pouring my heart out into fitness, and that is what has kept me sane. So starting, giving the bare minimum, Adam had to move, hi baby, to Connecticut. He needed to be with family, and while he was up there, he got an amazing job, way better than down here in Charlotte. So he ended up moving up there around the same time that prep started. So I have been living alone with Winston since that. I kept it really quiet for safety reasons. I live in a big house, and I don't want anyone to know that I'm here alone. And so it was just really hard being away from Adam for that long, and not having someone to help me, just like with the little things that you don't think of. Like if I'm working 5 in a row, I only have 4 sets of scrubs. I need to do laundry in between. Usually it was him who was doing it. That way I didn't have to worry about doing it. But since he wasn't there, like I had to. So it's just been really hard about that. And then going along with the whole safety thing, we had this neighbor who he was just like overly friendly. He gave us a very creepy vibe, but since Adam was here with me, like we didn't think anything of it. We live in a cul-de-sac. We're like all the way at the end. So like if you think of it like a bell, I don't know, ding-a-ling thing, we're at the very end, and then he's like up here. So you have to pass him in order to get out of the cul-de-sac. And, as a neighbor, you start to know like when people go to work, when people come home, you start to notice if, their car isn't there. And so our neighbor who would continuously, come over and try to give us food every Sunday and I don't know, just weird things like that. Even though we would say no to the food, he would still bring over, and I'm talking like a loaf of bread, a cake, a pie, cookies, like a Thanksgiving dinner every Sunday. And so once Adam left, he kind of knew that I was home alone because he knew that Adam's car wasn't there. He saw me walking Winston alone when I would usually walk him with Adam. So things started to get pretty creepy. He would start calling me beautiful, start blowing kisses at me, asking me inside of his house. At one point, I was walking Winston. He grabbed the leash, pulled the leash towards him so that I stumbled towards him and was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry," knowing full well what he was doing. And then as soon as that happened, like invited me inside of his house for I don't know, God knows what. Obviously, I said no. I came home. I was doing the right things. I was not walking during night. I was always on the phone when I was walking, either with Adam or his dad or my parents or whoever. Ow, Winston. Whoever. So. Oh my God. Hi again. So, yeah, I was in the middle of talking and Winston had like looked up, and from like here to here on his neck there was a giant wound, and it was like oozing, and I had not noticed it, and I just felt like an awful dog mom. So I called the vet right away. They couldn't get me in until next Friday, and I was getting to that point, but I'm gonna be moving before then, so the only option was to get an emergency visit. So right after that, Winston and I went to the vet. They gave us some antibiotic ointment. Essentially, it's called a hot spot. It's basically like dermatitis, inflammation of the area, but it's an infection. So they gave me some nystatin, just antibiotic stuff to put on it a couple times a day. They clipped it. I'll put in a video of what it looked like. About my neighbor, it did get a little bit worse. When he pulled the leash and everything, that was on the 18th. And then on that Saturday, I think that's like the 22nd, I had just gotten home from the gym, and I always go through, backtrack, the night before, Friday, he had, at like 9:30 at night, knocked on my door. He was wearing like a suit and tie, and he had a bouquet of flowers with him. There's no reason for any of that. There's no answer the door. Eventually he went away. The next morning, I had went out, walked Winston, came back. He knew that I had come back because he watches me. He came back. He was knocking on the door. He's like, Ashley. And so he had given me a bouquet of flowers at the gym. And when I came back, I always go through my garage. The front door is always like bolted, and the screen door is always, closed and whatnot. And so when I came in, the bouquet of flowers was sitting inside my door, like not inside my house, but like in between like the glass and the main door. So at that point I was like, this is extremely creepy. Fast forward into 2:34 p.m. He starts knocking on my door, and I mean like knocking. I have 2 glass windows on either side of my door, but we frosted them so you can't see through. Well, with the light from the outside shining in, he was looking in, like he was trying to see me. He was like ringing the doorbell. He was like almost yelling because I could hear him from the living room. He was like, Ashley, it's your neighbor, like, let me in. Ashley, I have something for you. Like, Ashley, like just screaming. And so I'm looking through the peephole on the phone with my mom, bawling my eyes out. I don't know what this man is capable of. So I'm looking through the peephole, and he goes over to the side. Next thing I know, he's looking through my back window. So I close all the blinds. He knows that I'm home now. He physically saw me. He already saw me come home from the gym, but now he physically saw me in my house. Goes to the front of the door, opens up the door, and starts wiggling the doorknob to try to come in. And that's when I'm literally going ballistic. I don't have a gun. I don't have, like, I didn't have a way to protect myself, and I've never felt so vulnerable and so unsafe, and I don't want anyone to feel that way. That was a really, really hard moment. And so I'm on the phone with my mom and my dad, and the second that happened, my dad just like jumped in the car. He didn't even think twice about it. He jumped in the car and he came down. And I'm so thankful for my parents, because without them, I don't know what I would do. Once he finally did leave, after that, he finally did leave. And as soon as I felt comfortable, I got off the phone with my mom, just because I was literally a wreck and I couldn't do anything. Couldn't even talk. Like, I was just bawling my eyes out so much. I did call 911. Took them like 45 minutes, but they finally got to my house. At that point, it was like the temporary restraining order. I have court coming up. Between Adam's family member being sick, Adam getting a great job in Connecticut, me no longer feeling safe in my own house, it's time to move. So, poured my heart and my soul and everything into this fitness competition. I have truly challenged myself to the max, and life that I can control. I control what I put in my mouth. I control how I do at the gym. When I leave the gym, I feel empowered. I feel strong. I feel like I can do anything that I put my mind to, because I got up that day, I got out of bed, and I hit my goal. And to me, that is one of my biggest strengths that I've learned through all of this. I've learned how brave I am. I've learned how strong I am. I'm a big believer that even in the worst situations, there's always a positive side. And positive side is I have learned how amazing of a woman I am, and how strong I am, and how brave I am. And I could not have been prouder than that. It sucks that this experience had to come out in order for me to see that. But I always felt like there was a disconnect between what I saw and what other people saw of me. And I now finally feel like I see what they see. I see the woman that, you know, will do anything for anyone, and who sees the good in people. And, you know, I need to start putting myself forward and first. And a lot of the times what I write, like in my posts and stuff like that on social media, it's what I need to hear that day. I need to hear that, you know, today I choose happiness, because I can choose happiness. I can let all of this crumble around me, or I can let it build me. And right now I'm really trying to let it build me. And I am just, I can't say enough how proud I am of that, of myself. 2019 started off great, went down, went up, went around again, just a huge roller coaster. And, you know, where I am now, almost July, more than halfway through, I am proud, and I'm happy. Some days more than others, but I'm happy. And I just cannot wait to be a family again next to the guy that I love, and all of that. So thank you for the continued love and support and reaching out to me. Like I said, some days are better than others, and I don't even know what days those are. So, you know, when I wake up to a text from someone who I haven't heard for in a while, you know, saying, hey, I'm thinking about you, I'm so proud of you, or hey, you're motivating me to get up today, like that really helps me push. And you guys are the reason why, you know, I think I've stuck with this so long, is because I know that I'm helping other people by helping myself.